G'day everyone. How are we going? I am doing a Supercoach team picker here. So this is my first Supercoach upload. I'm looking to make more content for it this year, see how we go. So I've got my phone here, I've taken a screenshot of my team and I'm just gonna relay it onto the screen. So yeah, let's get straight into it. So at D1 for this year, so far, this is a January update. Got Jake Lloyd. I think Dawson going to the Crows opens up the opportunity for Lloyd to just get a few more touches here and there. So, and he's just so reliable. He's so durable throughout his career, as we can see. So down here. Oh, stuff that up. Anyway. So anyway, yeah, Lloyd, I think he only missed one game last year. There was a couple of games where, a couple of seasons where he just played throughout the year and he was just fantastic. So I'd highly recommend Lloyd. I mean, he's 43% owned and for good reason. So I highly recommend him. My D2, my second defender, second premium is going to be Aaron Hall for the North Melbourne Footy Club. We saw after round 6, which is where from round 1 to 6, he was kind of just in a bit of no man's land. You know, he was the medical sub a couple of times. He got knocked out one game, where he got subbed out. But since round 7 hit, when he got that new role being a seagull for North Melbourne along with Jack Siebel, he was killing it. I think after the bye round, he averaged 117. Which is a fantastic score for a defender. And if he can keep his role and stay healthy, because he has had durability issues throughout the season, I would highly recommend this pick. Now at D3, I've got Jack Crisp, the super reliable Jack Crisp. So he's a defender mid, so he's got that status. I think he's on the longest streak of most games in a row. Now we'll see whether COVID this year will affect that, but I think Jack Crisp is just, if he can stay at that midfield role, like that's the key, of course. I think that's the most important thing, Jack Crisp being a midfielder. If he's a defender, I don't like it as much. So I think if he can be that full-time midfielder, then obviously he's a very good scorer. You can rely on him. And I think he's a fantastic pick. There's a couple of those others I'm considering just in case he isn't full-time mid. I've seen Maynard be he's training with the midfielders from the latest report that I saw. So I don't know. I haven't heard much about Crisp, I'll be honest. So I hope it still means he's playing midfield. He probably is, considering with the De Goey situation. So now I've got a bit of a mid-pricer here for the time being. Sorry, we'll just have to scroll all the way down to about 271k. There we go. Sorry, I went a bit up. Wayne Miller, who I think if he can stay healthy, he was injured all throughout last year. I think he was all injured throughout 2020 as well. He's 271k. If Dawson's going to be a midfielder or an inside midfielder, and I'd highly consider him if Crisp, for whatever reason, or the other primos get injured, then I'd highly recommend Dawson. But for now, I've got Wayne Miller, who should be off the half-back line. I think he's a good player when he's up and about. I really do like him. But the thing is, can he stay healthy? But I do think he's a good pick. It was tough, but we don't have that many defensive options at the minute. Well, I mean, it's very early on in the season, but I think he's a good pick, and I think he has real potential to just be a stepping stone. I doubt he'll be a primo, but if he can get me to about, I reckon 450k, I don't know if that's too generous or not, but if he can get me there, then I'd be pretty happy with that. Now we've got a Port Adelaide rookie at D5. Where is he? There he is, Josh Sin. He's impressing a lot of the Port Adelaide staff. he seems ready to go. You can see the build on him. He's ready to go as a player that can make an instant impact straight away for a Port side that's trying to win a flag. I think he's very good. So yeah, we'll wait and see on that. Obviously, as I said, it's still early on, so there'll probably be a couple of options that we don't know at the minute. They'll look really good, but for now, I think Josh Sin. I just hope he doesn't get. I want to add a new term to the dictionary: getting Ken Hinckleyed. We saw that last year with Michael Frederick from Port, where he was meant to make a lot of money, but then that didn't happen because he got the horrid medical sub a few times, and that killed him, getting subbed on a few times there. So hopefully that doesn't happen, and that does concern me with Ken Hinckley, but for now, we'll go with it. And now at D6, Brody Kemp from Carlton. I was speaking to my Carlton mate about him, and he'll be vying for a key defender position, but I think he's a solid chance because I think there's a couple of spots up for grabs until Marchbank comes back. You know, you got McGovern, you got Oscar McDonald, you've got Plowman. Carlton fans love him, and someone else off the top of my Lewis Young, the new bloke, and from the Dogs. So, but I do, from what I've seen. From Carlton last year, where he got a few games here and there. How many games? He got 2. I did see some moments of his, and he looked really promising. So I do like that. So, yeah, that's my back 6 for the time being. And for now, So I've got Will Kelly from Collingwood, who, when healthy, he's a good key forward option. Should be getting games, especially with that Collingwood forward line, which I do think is a bit suspect. There's definitely a couple of key forward spots up for grabs there, so we'll see how he goes. And then I've got Charlie Dean, which should be down the bottom. Yeah, mature ager from the VFL. He's competing with Roughhead, who I'm not sure if I reckon Collingwood he's an intercept defender. I think Collingwood might be better off just playing him, but we'll wait and see. Probably early on they'll try to get a couple of wins on the board, but I think they're rebuilding, so. Yeah, that's just my opinion. And there we go. That's my back 6. And now heading into the midfield, we have got Jack McRae. In fact, let me just... Jack McRae, so reliable. You can't go wrong with him. He won't let you down. I think 7 is... So the AFL released the first 9 games, or like the timings and the days. And I think 7 of the first 9 games for the Dogs are like early. So I think Friday night, Thursday night, Wednesday night, round 1. So I think it's stuff like that. So he's an easy vice captain option. So Jack McRae won't let you down the majority of the time. 95% of the time, he'll put up a 110 plus score. Don't know where I got those numbers from, but there you go. Jack Steele, he was the love of my life last year. I just loved him. I had him throughout the whole season. That second half of the year, he was getting 150s out of his ass. He was just fantastic and such a reliable captain option. Sorry, throughout there. So I think Steele's a great pick, and he got named as captain, which I think is a very good option. Jack Steele's just the clear best player at the club, and we got Clayton Oliver. I've picked him. Not for Supercoach reasons, but there was an interaction with me and Clayton Oliver throughout the year. I mean, at New Year's Eve. I won't go into detail about it. I'm sure he's not watching, and I'm probably better off telling it, but it's all right. But yeah, Clayton Oliver, super reliable throughout the last 4 or 5 years on Supercoach. He's just such a good player. I'm surprised he didn't win the Brownlow, but Ollie Wines had a terrific year as well. But Clayton Oliver, he's an absolute. I was about to say champion of the game. I don't think he's reached that yet. Then 4, we got Tom Mitchell, who for the first season since about 2018, heading into the 2018 season, he's having a full pre-season. which is good for a change because obviously he got the broken leg, then shoulder surgery. There was debate whether he was going to play round 1 there. And the year in between the 2020 preseason, obviously he was just coming back from the broken leg. So I think Tom Mitchell, he's going to be a very good pick. And I think that's good value as well because I do think he will probably finish top 5. That would be my guess. So if you're getting him, I reckon it's great value for him. And now we are going to go with... there we go, Lockie Neal. Everyone's going with him, and I don't blame everyone because 5.43 for K for his ability is just fantastic. He's a very good pick. Just at such a good deal. If he can stay healthy, if he can avoid those niggles. Had him last year. He burnt me big time, but at that price, you just can't not pick him. So, yeah, that's what I'm going with. And now... In fact, I should probably search it up. That's how I should probably do it. Now my... oh, no, that's not how you spell Dacos. There we go. Nick Dacos at my M6. Yeah, M6, yeah. So, Nick Dacos, obviously highly touted. He went pick 4 when realistically he's probably behind Horn Francis. Should have been pick 2. But that's fine. I totally understand it. So, Nick Dacos... He'll probably play on he'll probably get the odd centre bounce attendance and play off the half-back probably a bit, which is a Supercoach friendly role. So I don't think you will go wrong with Nick Dacos, and most people are picking him, and that's fair enough. Now, who do we have here? Yes, I've only got him in the side just from yesterday. Is that how you spell it? Yep. Dylan Stephens of the Sydney Swans is killing pre-season. Hopefully John Longmire plays him throughout the year. Almost said John Longmuir, but I get those two coaches' name confused. But Dylan Stephens, very good. I think he was a top 5 pick, I believe, a couple of seasons ago. He hasn't quite shot off like we would expect, but Sydney are just so good at drafting, so you know that he'll eventually get it together, and it seems like it might be this year. So I'm very excited to see what comes from him. And then my M8 at the moment, I got this from AFL.com, just Neil Erasmus is apparently doing really well, and he might have an early appearance throughout the year. So for now, he's in. I'm fine with the pick. I think he does have a lot of talent. I think he'll go very well. And yeah, so that's my midfield. Sorry. Okay, and now my 3 midfielders. Again, this is another AFL.com one. Jackson Mead from Port. He's into his 3rd season, I believe. He hasn't made an appearance yet, but he is certainly ready to thrive in the midfield. He's getting some opportunities in the midfield during pre-season, which is always great to hear. The obvious one from the West Coast Eagles, Greg Clark. Mature age, very late in the draft. He's going to do. He should make an early appearance. I think those West Coast veteran blokes, they do get injured quite a bit. So I think Greg, with a couple of injuries down, I know Shuey's injured during the match sim. Greg Clark, he's ready to go. He's ready to go from the waffle, 24 years old. I think he'll be great. And then Western Bulldogs, Charlie Parker, who won the time trial, I believe, for them, which is a very good effort. So he could be an Anthony Scott 2.0 or a Lockie McNeil. So I think he's a good, just a 102K option. It doesn't matter whether he plays or not, but he's just that cheap. Now in the ruck, I've gone Darcy from Freo, who, if he can stay injury-free, then he is probably going to be the R1 this year. I think he's just very good to watch. Just him go about. He's a big boy. It's hard to outmuscle him. He's just an overall beast in the ruck, and I think eventually he'll. He actually doesn't move too bad as a big fella. I actually think he moves around pretty all right for his size. So I think that's a good sign. for the future. And then I've got a bit of a pod here. I don't know how you spell it. Yep, there we go. Oscar McInerney. I think there's an opportunity that he could be an All-Australian ruckman this year. I've very high hopes on Brisbane this year. I do think they'll finish first. I really do think they'll do fantastic this year. I think Big O's going to have a massive year in the ruck. But I just think he's going to be a good option. My only concern is if he's going to get some forward time. That would put me off the pick. But for now, because of no Hipwood, that makes me think, okay, does that mean there's less forward time for him? I don't know. That's what I'm hoping. I don't know if Darcy Ford affects him from Geelong. But yeah, and then my R3 is Sam Hayes, who could look to make an early appearance, but Lysette could affect that. But that's all right. It doesn't really matter for the time being. I have got another rookie in mind if he doesn't play, who's actually in my forward line who's actually my F8, but we'll get to that. Now my forward line, the dreaded forward line. I've got Josh Dunkley. Just lock him in. When healthy, he is going to be by far the best averaging player in the forward line. He's just such a good player. Wish he got more midfield time, but it is stacked in that Western Bulldogs midfield. So, but I do think he's a great pick. So, and was it 51%? Yeah. So everyone knows he's a good pick. Basically, everyone knows he's a good pick. So go with him, lock him in, unless he gets injured throughout pre-season or it doesn't look that great in the practice games. I'll probably still pick him. But if he gets a couple of injuries during pre-season, then maybe we look elsewhere. But for now, I don't know where to look elsewhere. Now we've got from Port Adelaide. I've got a few Port blokes. No, how do you spell it? Zach Butters. There we go. Zach Butters, huge talent. He's going to be a top 10 player one day in the AFL. I really rate him that much. Zach Butters just looks fantastic. If he's getting midfield time, then I really like to see that. And yeah, he's just a super talent. If feels like for every pick I go for in Supercoach, but if he's healthy, if he doesn't get those niggles, then he's going to look really good for Supercoach and in the forward line. So yeah, definitely go. I'm definitely standing my ground with him, unless there's a couple of mid prices. Maybe I only need Dunkley and maybe a few mid prices, but for now I've got Butters in there. Now my F3 is Cam Rayner, who is killing. I don't know why I said rain, but whatever. Cam Rayner's looking fantastic in the midfield where he's being trained there, coming back from an ACL. He looks like he's dominating match simulation in the midfield, and that's what we love to hear. So Cam Rayner, for the time being, I just think he's a good pick. Number one pick. We're waiting for him to explode. The way he's going sounds like it could be this year. But yeah, if he keeps that role, he could be a keeper. So we'll wait and see on that. Obviously, Rayner is just a player that we were waiting to just explode into the football world as one of the ultimate young guns in the competition. So definitely got him in there. Then I think the most owned player in Supercoach at the minute, Stephen Cornelio. He's been dealing with a few captaincy issues where he's still got it, but he's got two others on his side. Obviously, he had the ankle and toe injury, I believe, throughout the year. He only played, I forgot how many games he played. Didn't play a whole heap and didn't have much big of a role. He was kind of a defensive forward. But Stephen Cornelio, if he's getting midfield time, it looks like he hasn't had any troubles at the minute during the pre-season. He is a good option. He's a really good midfielder on his day for Supercoach. And yeah, I'm very happy to pick him. He's not really risky because of his price, but which is a good thing. I think the reward is higher than the risk in this pick. Now at F5, I have got Finn McGuinness from Hawthorn, who seems to be the standout player in terms of the young blokes. throughout the preseason. He hired a I don't know what you call them, like a speed. He hired a trainer to work on his speed. I think it's a company. I think, and yeah, McGuinness just did. I think he's improved his quickness, which is great for his size. He's a really well built. He's really well built. So I think McGuinness is going to be but the thing is, can he get into that round one side? I think Sam Mitchell likes him. So we're waiting to see on that. And then for the Gold Coast Suns, we have got Elijah Hollins, who one of the more talented players in the previous draft. Didn't play any of last year, but he's a super talent. We don't know whether he's going to play. Hopefully he does, because I think he's a fantastic option as a cash builder. So I think Elijah Hollins, I think a lot of people own him as well. So you might get a bit of FOMO, fear of missing out, if you don't pick him. So super talent. Hopefully Gold Coast utilise him very well. And now my final two, I've got De Koning from Geelong, Sam De Koning from the Cats. I think he might feature early, because you got the Tom Stewart situation where he's coming back from that foot injury, which is meant to be 6 months, but apparently he's making good progress. But you got Jack Henry, who's undergone surgery. I don't remember what injury exactly, but Sam De Koning, forward defender. He might get a few hit outs as well. He's very tall. And also Lockie Henderson's retirement. So the door's opening a little bit for him. So I think along with Blitzarves, he could be a cheeky option that Geelong should potentially go with, since they're quite an old team. So De Koning, we'll see how he goes. And as I said, with a lot of these young blokes, there's going to be more options that come up, like Dylan Stevens, Neil Erasmus only just added yesterday. Throughout, we'll learn a lot more during the practice games and more match sims. So we'll see how we go from there. But for now, this is my team. And Charlie Comben, I didn't really know who else to pick. Comben could be an option for my R3. That's another AFL.com one. He's looking, he's put on some size. He's also just hasn't missed a training, and he's just looked fantastic. So there could be an early appearance there. So he'll be battling with Callum Coleman-Jones, I'm sure, and you've got the reliable Todd Goldstein. But I mean, realistically, he's fighting with Callum Coleman-Jones. I don't know. I'd assume Coleman-Jones is ahead of him, but yeah, we'll wait and see. And so that's my team. Now, one of the important things I'm going to make sure I have is, because of COVID, because there will be a few games where they're either cancelled or players get COVID, they'll miss a couple of weeks. I want as much flexibility as possible. And this is early days, but this is how I'm going to try to keep it. So I've got defender mid defender, or do I? Oh, wait, no, I don't. Oh, that's awkward. Okay, well, I had O'Driscoll in there yesterday, so maybe I add him back in for the time being instead of Mead for now. O'Driscoll is apparently looking pretty good himself, so yeah, maybe I should just go with him for the time being. But yeah, so defender mid to defender forward to defence. I don't have the forward ruck, but I've got forward mid forward. Do I have mid? Wait, yeah, I do. So yeah, so I'm trying to keep it as flexible as possible. And yeah, that is my team. So I'll probably update this every now and then. If there's any big changes, I'll let you know and I'll talk about it. So yeah, I'm hoping to look to make some content throughout the year. Hopefully this works. Otherwise I might cry. So thanks everyone for watching. I think it's a long video, so have a good one. Cheers.